Hi, good morning. My name is Kia and I'm here with Morgan today. She's from M. Morris Designs. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about your business.
Yes, so thank you first for having me. My business in Morris Designs, I am an interior designer and I specialize in residential design in the area.
Okay, perfect. And what made you decide to open this business?
So the minute I entered design school and fell in love with design, I've always had an aspiration, to own my own company. And working for another company prior, like right out of school, I was very, very fortunate that the mentor that I had really did push all of us to really hone into our own design skills, um, push push them further, and also gave me opportunities to work directly with clients and contractors, really building up that confidence. And that is really what ultimately decided me to push forward and pursue my own company.
That's fantastic. It's good to have a mentor that actually pushes you to get outside your comfort zone and go and pursue your dreams. And
Exactly.
what kind of services do you provide?
So mostly I focus in the residential sector. So really looking at service design for new construction and remodels. And then I also have a section of my design that's really focused on more interior styling. So that is going to be more for someone who has main pieces already, whether it's like their sofa, they have their bed and maybe nightstands, and then they're just trying to figure out how to really tie it all together,
Mhm.
with the accessories and rugs and things like that. So that's kind of a secondary service that I can offer, to really give that person that really cohesive, polished look for their space.
Yeah, to like finish it off and complete the space. That's
Exactly.
feel like I need that in my house. And how does the design process work?
So for me, the design process works really starts with an inquiry. So whether I receive it from a potential new client via referral or through my website, I always like to begin with that new potential new client setting up a phone call or a Zoom chat. And that gives me the opportunity to talk with them first and foremost about their project, really kind of hear what their needs are.
Mhm.
Usually about 15 to 20 minutes, so nothing overly long, but it just gives me an idea whether or not I'm going to be a good fit, my services would be a good fit for that client. From there, if we just do decide to proceed, usually once we have that conversation, I like to email over a questionnaire. Questionnaire kind of runs through a little bit more information in depth. So that will cover information about the client themselves as well as their project. And then usually we'll set up an in-home consultation.
Mhm.
At that consultation, I'm usually with the client, kind of walking through the space once again, kind of reiterating a lot of their needs. And I'm also being able to see how it's currently functioning. So that also allows me to pick up on maybe addressing any other necessities or concerns that
Mhm.
may be going on in the space that maybe they haven't already considered. It also allows me to gather my information, such as documenting photos, as well as all of the detailed measurements of the space. These are all information that I take back and use later on. So total, that usually takes about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours most, to kind of gather all that information. And then from there, basically, I sit down with all of that and I create a design contract. It's specific to each client. It details the scope of work, so what they're looking for, kind of my fees and deliverables. It's also the agreement that we're having between myself and that potential client to hire me on to do the work for them. And it also goes over all of my policies and procedures. So, basic contract agreement that you would have pretty much with any company that you would hire.
Mhm.
Once all of that's approved, usually I add them then to my calendar, get their start date, set and ready to go, and we're off. Then from there, basically we're in what we call the design process. That's usually where I take and make all necessary necessary drawings. Those drawings, we're looking at like your floor plans, your elevations, any details that I need when I'm working with the client, when I'm working with any of my tradesmen, my contractors, things that will be conveying the design intent. So they really know what it is that I'm looking for, what the direction is that we're going. It's also the time that I'm going to be going through all of my vendors, sourcing from them, such as furniture, lighting, all the paint finishes, wall finishes, whether it's wallpaper instead, any window treatments, all of that kind of gets put together in a really beautiful presentation. It has their specs, pricing. So everything's super transparent to the client. There's no kind of hidden things. Things that I won't know maybe right away would be shipping and freight, but otherwise all of that's going to be up front. So the client gets to see it, be part of this discussion, and make decisions based off of what we select. Usually once that's all put together, I send it over to the client. We do a nice review with them. Typically, I usually see about 1 to 2 revisions being made with the client. This is just usually simple changes, whether it's they want to see another option for that piece, or maybe they're just not feeling something. Sometimes they have really strong dislikes, or it's just like, hey, maybe scale that back for the budget so we can put that little bit of money into another area of the project. So it's a little bit of push and pull. But like I said, usually about 1 to 2 revisions. And then before they usually hone in on what those selections are. And then at that point, I create an invoice, get a deposit from them, and then I'm on my way to ordering everything.
Perfect.
And then I know it seems a little long, but at that point, I'm just kind of in autopilot where I'm project managing. I'm overseeing all the orders, ensuring all the shipping, staying on schedule. So I'm very much communicating hands-on with my vendors. Once I receive everything, I like to go through it, open everything up, make sure there's no damages or anything, because that's the time that I can then return anything, get new options out, and kind of go from there. I usually like to hold everything until it arrives. So then that way on install day, it's all there at once. You're not waiting on anything. And then the same goes for when we're selecting materials such as tile and all of that. I like to have that ahead of time, make sure that's ready for my vendors, my subs. They have everything that they need. Also, simultaneously, while I'm overseeing all of that, that's usually a time when I'm wrapping up accessories, any other odd and ends that need to be done with the space. I'm communicating and corresponding with all of my tradesmen, my GC, if we have one for the project, doing site visits, and just making sure that things that are being installed, whether it's tile, plumbing, everything's where it needs to be, how it needs to be installed, and up to my standards. There are plenty of times that something may go in and it's a little wonky, and so we will make sure it's put in correctly for them. So overseeing pretty much the whole project start to finish. And then we're always at that point down to my favorite part of the project, which is the design install. I love this day. It's my favorite day. It is a very long day for me, but it's so rewarding because this is when everything is pulled together. Placement of furniture and rugs, all the accessories, window treatment, lighting, everything is up. And it's just kind of getting that final polish by me, fluffing pillows, everything's wiped down and exactly, kind of where it needs to be. It's home. And then from there, the space is really transformed. And it's my favorite part because I really get to see that transformation come to life from something that was on paper to now physically in front of me. So it's a
And
really
also
cool,
from before, like you see the start to the design to the finished product.
yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah, so that's always really fun. So that's part of why, you document photos in the beginning, and
Mhm.
then you have, also then, photos later, and of course things in between. So it's really fun always to look back even at former projects and really see like, wow, we transformed that space. So it's pretty cool. So that's it. I mean, I know it, like I said before, it just sounds like a really, really long process, but each step is really critical to the projects. It
Mhm.
really helps ensure that I give my clients the highest quality, all that attention to detail for their space. It's uniquely theirs. I don't want to feel like I'm giving everyone something the same as each other, because no home's the same, no client's the same, and everyone has specific needs. So,
For sure.
that's really what I'm looking for.
Yeah, it's great that they're like involved in the process from start to finish almost. And when would
Mhm.
you say it's like a finished product for your customer?
For
How can you
me,
tell?
how can I tell? Okay, so my goal usually is to create spaces that are comfortable, they're functional, they're inviting, overall for the design. Whether it's, doing the remodels, a new construction, or even the interior styling, like I love transforming and helping my client have a space that fits their specific lifestyle. So at the end of the day, for me with design, it's about how it makes them feel. When I get to see that look on their face, their reaction to it, that's when I know it's right. It's a feeling that they get. It's a feeling that I get too, because I get these relationships with my clients. I get to build, some of them come back later and have spaces done that they maybe were doing like a phase two, or getting to years from later. And it's fun to come back and have that relationship, and them checking on me checking on them throughout the holidays. So you really get to hone in on that, and that's fun. I just love seeing them enjoy their space, and it being a part of them, an extension of them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, home is where you're most comfortable. So it all kind of having that space specifically for you is absolutely amazing.
Mhm.
So what are some of your goals for this year or for 2 years down the track?
So, goal, of course, always continue to kind of grow my business. I want to always make meaningful relationships, whether it's with my clients, my vendors, or outside my field. So this is such a great opportunity for me to sit and speak with you, and have those meaningful connections. Like I said, I love catching up with my clients, sending them little messages throughout the year. So that's always important to me. So I want to really kind of continue on that path. And then I hope that at some point I'm able to inspire others, whether it's just people who follow me on social media, know me in person, or even eventually as I continue to grow and have staff below me, inspire them to pursue their own passions, almost pay it forward, kind of what my mentor did for
Mhm.
me, do that for someone else. So I really think that that's important.
Yeah, for sure. Like when you have people you learn from, then you can watch them blossom as well. So that's in itself a reward to see them
Yes.
continue. So when you're not working and designing these amazing spaces, where can we find you?
So you're likely to find me at the beach, or we have my husband and I have a little one. He's almost a year old, so we're getting ready to celebrate a birthday. But usually, if I'm not doing any design work, I'm hanging with him. I mean, he's such a joy. He's got this little personality that's coming out, so it's very fun to
Mhm.
be around and see. Once again, like I said, I love the beach. So we like going down for walks. There's a fun little area in Atlantic Beach called the Beaches Town Center. I love it a lot because there's a bunch of shops you can go to, really good places to eat. We like to frequent Doro, sometimes go over to Hotel Palms, get some coffee. They usually have events there too. So it's always fun to kind of go and gather in those spaces. And then I also really love the area around Southern Grounds, still kind of
Mhm.
same beaches town center, but they like to do some fun stuff on the weekends where they have people come in, do live music. So all of that's usually fun, but, just kind of hanging out, family and friends, and, just enjoying all of that.
Yeah, that's some of my favorite areas too. Southern Grounds and Atlantic Beach. It's like our go-to place. So for potential customers listening or anyone else that wants to get in contact with you, how would they go about contacting you for a
So
consultation?
I would say the best way to kind of inquire or even contact me would be to go to my website. It's just going to be my full name, so Morgan Morris Designs. I would go there, check out the website, of course, because that will give you a better feel of what it is that I can do.
Mhm.
But there's also an area that is my contact page. It's a great way for you to kind of send out a little inquiry, message me, and so we can kind of start a discussion and dialogue from there.
Perfect. Well, I really want to appreciate, thank you, and I appreciate your time today. And hopefully, I get to use you in the future because I'm really intrigued to see how you would transform my space. So
Well,
thank you
thank
again.
you. Oh, no, thank you. I definitely appreciate this opportunity and I'm, excited. So we'll get in, we'll get together here sometime.
For sure. We'll grab a
All right.
coffee. All
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Thanks so much, Morgan. Enjoy
All
your
right.
weekend.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.